Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, it's Brian, Flying Agras Ag. Hey, we got a call from a customer to come and put a 4 nozzle kit on their T50 they purchased from us. So we decided just to swing down to their place and put it on for them. So today we're gonna go over what's in the kit, what you can expect to be in it, the parts and pieces, what we're gonna change out, and then we got the T50 here. We got a camera set up. We're gonna kind of time lapse it so you guys can see the whole thing. But we're gonna try to do all the bits and pieces so that when you guys get it out, if you want to do it up, by yourself at your own shop, whatever, we'll show you kind of the hopefully tips and tricks on how to get that done correctly. So we're gonna pull the box open and kind of give you guys a little rundown of what's in that. So we opened up the box here. So in the T50 kit that comes with it, you'll have your new atomizers all put together already. The front atomizers, you can see they're much shorter. New cables. The new cables have to be put in the front because you have the cable that goes down into your atomizer, or, connecting your atomizer. You will have all the connection points. There's the U shape in here that kind of connects your hoses. You have hoses to go on the front, and you have your T's that go together that connect it to your original or existing hosing. So you have everything in here. Makes it super simple. We're gonna start diving in and tearing things apart. We're gonna kind of set things up as we go and try to do it piece by piece. Hopefully it'll walk you guys through it from start to finish. We're just gonna take that front cover off. It's 2.5 millimeter, and we're just gonna pop out those two screws, one on either side, and then this is kind of like a car glove box, essentially. Pop it down, and then now we have everything nice and open here. I'm gonna quick take the tank off here, get that out of our way. Pretty simple, same as always. One connection, have your wing nut, undo the wing nut off your hose coming out of your pumps into your flow meter and up and out. One hose, both sides. And we just go ahead and pick that right up and out, get it out of our way. A little easier to deal with things. So now that we got tank off, front opened up, we can go ahead and disconnect our electrode connections. So like I said, we have those new ones that are coming in. So because of that, we're going to disconnect these, get them out of the arm, disconnect the ESCs, go through all of that, put a brand new one in with the hose and the T connector and the U out at the end, and get the atomizer hooked up on the end. So now that we have it opened up, I'll show you here, we just have the two coming out of our hose, or out of our arm here, and they'll come in, and it's going to be two connections. It's going to be this upper connection up top and this bottom connection. We're going to go ahead and disconnect both of those. So now that we got everything disconnected inside here, go out to the end of the arm, and we're going to take off the foam cover, the protector there for the motors, and then we're going to pop the ESCs out so that way we can get that cable completely out. We'll go ahead and pull that foam cover off. We can see everything now. We can see the ESCs where the motors connect to the ESCs. So we're going to go ahead and pull the ESCs off, get those disconnected, and then we can go ahead and pull that cable all the way out. So now that we pulled the two screws, just two screws, 3 mil Allen to pull these out. One top and bottom of the ESC, pull both those out. And when you take the ESC off, you want to grab onto it, pull it out a little bit, and then towards the aircraft. And it'll pull out of these little holders that it has. And now what we're going to do is disconnect the ESC. And we're going to do that on both sides here, and then be able to pull that all the way back. So while Donovan is getting the ESCs taken off, another thing that we can do kind of while we're doing that, up underneath the front arm, the bottom motor there's a cap over top of it right now, which is where our bottom spray lance is going to end up connecting to. So we can go ahead and get that popped off. I'll show you here kind of where it is. Get under here, right up here. There's a cap. We're going to go ahead and get that pulled off, and then it's opened up. So Donovan's going to pull it back out, and we also just, for you guys, right up here, take a little screw out right here, and there's the in positioning sensor. And that in position sensor is when you connect this, clamp it back together. That's what, your remote is looking at to notice, like, hey, everything's good to go. I'm all clamped up and locked. It is kind of a bugger to pull out, in all honesty. Sometimes it can be kind of a little bit of a pain. But you kind of work it through and work it on out. Yep, there's your in position sensor. And then go ahead and just pull it right on out. And then here is our new cable. New cable with it on the end. In position sensor right here. All integrated. Something a little different on the 40s compared to the 50s is there's the old one that came out. We're going to end up pulling the in position sensor bracket or holder. We're going to pull that and put it on our new one so we have it. But the difference from 40 to 50, 40s had their own cable for that, and the 50s, it's all integrated into the one cable. So that's why it comes with a whole brand new cable. So we're just getting ready to pull this cable out, but there's a couple quick little things that we want to show you guys. First thing is your cable that goes out to your ESCs. So it's kind of dummy proof, but a lot of people don't really see it until they put things together. The motors, the ESCs, anything like that, you can put them anywhere. All it matters is how they're plugged in and what cable they're plugged into. So on the cable itself, you'll notice on this side, this hole right here is just an oval. No notches out of it, anything like that. And on the cable is the same way. No notches, no anything, just a nice oval. And we'll flip around over here to the other side. And you'll notice it's white, so that's a difference automatically. But now you'll notice with the oval, you have these notches top and bottom. Okay? Same thing as on the cable. Cable, notched, top, bottom. They do that for a reason. That way, you cannot pull the wrong one through. This one physically will not fit through the other side. So when you're putting it back together, aside from knowing white is one side, black is the other, you can also do it based on these tabs. Make sure this one fits through. You can see how it fits through there. Same thing going out, going back in. So we're getting it all the way back through. You can see our in positioning sensor right here we were talking about earlier, and then it bolts on right here. So we're just sliding that all the way through and get it kind of lined up on there. So we got the cables all through working, to get it out, but we did the same thing. Full oval, and then the one with the notch, and that one has a notch on the back side. So we pushed it all through, and then out the end by our motors, this comes out to our cable here, which is going to go down to our motor for the spray lance. So came back through, we got our in positioning sensor connected, and then we're going to go through, before we hook all this stuff up and kind of get it in our way, we're actually going to utilize this to put our hose in. So we're going to grab the hose. Donovan's grabbing the hose right now. We're going to get that hose shoved all the way through. So the curved end here on the hose, this curved end is what's going to be on this end, which is going to go out to your T connector. Straight end is going to go all the way through out the end, and that's what your little 180 degree elbow connects to. So we went ahead and we slid our hose through. We went right through this hole right here. So we put the long end through the arm all the way out, and then the curly part here we stuck through on the back side of this bolt here, which holds your arm in, back side of it. And then it's going to end up going, and we have a T piece that connects it, and we'll connect it from your old one to your new one. And then out on the end, we left our ESCs open. We kind of left everything the way it is right now, just to not get things tight or in our way. So now what we have to do is connect our spray lance, and our spray lance is going to connect up underneath. Same thing like it was before that I took that nut off of that was in the way. This is where it's going to connect. So we're going to push it up through with the hose. The cable comes out. It'll come out the end right here. And then we'll hook everything together, put it up in there nice and tight, get it all pinched down. So we're getting ready to throw this back up in here, and I want to show you guys something too. I've noticed a few people or T40s and same with the 50s that have come in. We've noticed that the spray lances have been, people can't keep them tight. They're off a little bit. They actually go on a certain way in a certain orientation, and it actually has a little nub there to have it both on the spray lance and on the arm itself or on the motor. So we'll show you guys that. On the front spray lance here, you can see this little knob, and that helps with the orientation. So that knob put into this notch right here. So when it's all said and done, that spray lance is essentially going to be facing down the arm. So when it faces down the arm, that's the orientation it's supposed to be. Same on the back, and you can kind of see that right here. The back spray lance kind of in orientation with the arm. Same on this spray lance, orientation on the arm. That's how they're designed to be on there. And that little nub is how you get that up in there all the way, and to make sure you can tighten things down and it won't come back loose. Donna's getting it put up right now. Got the hosing. Hoses up, cable's up. Cable is going to be connected. We're going to pull both hoses out and hook our 180 degrees to it, connect them together. So we got everything pulled out. The spray lance hooked up inside here. Like I said, we attached it to it, made sure our little notch was in the right way. It's nice and snug. And again, is going down the orientation of the arm itself. So now, we'll come over. We got our hardware here, and in the hardware on each side, we're going to use this to get our hose on the outside connected. So it'll come out of the hose we put in, connect to the hose coming up from the spray lance, and then the nuts to take those and tighten them right down. So go ahead and put the nut on first. Don't forget it, or else you'll be mad at yourself afterwards. We'll get them put on, and then we'll take our U or 180 and we'll snap it on both sides, snug it up, and we already have down in we don't have the cable connected yet, but we'll hook the connection up with the cable, snug that back inside of the arm, and make sure everything's pulled back through and button everything back up. We got the hose hooked up. We got the cabling hooked up. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Put things buttoning back up. So we have our hosing all hooked up, tightened down on the nuts, cable hooked up, flip it, kind of bend it a little bit, shove it back into the arm, and everything's in here nice and tight, snug. So that way everything out here is done. So that way we can go ahead and hook our ESCs back up. And then once that's all done and tightened up, then we're going to go ahead and put our shroud on, or our foam protector, and then work our way back down and hook our hose or our cabling back up inside the aircraft. So we just got everything all buttoned back up and tightened back up. We ESCs back on, bolted them back in. I remember, tuck the back in first, and then the front bolted on. Put a little bit of Loctite on them. You'll see when you take them apart, they have a little bit tight on them. We always like to take that and put a little dab on before we put things back together. These have a lot of vibration to them. They have a lot going on. So if they're going to have Loctite when you take them apart, put it back on. It's there for a reason. So just a little dab goes a long ways. Put that back through our foam connector on all the way through. I brought it through, put this back on, put our pieces hooked back in. That's pretty easy. Ran, the hose back out where it was, down through, hooked our T up. They have these little clips in the hardware as well. Put the clip in and bolt everything up, tighten it down, and that side's all done, good to go, tightened up. So we're just gonna rip this other side apart and do it pretty fast. We're just gonna let the time lapse do this one, so we're not back and forth with this camera all the time. So we'll just time lapse this one. It's gonna be pretty quick. We'll go through and pull it all apart, slap it together, and then this drone's done, ready for the customer. Hey guys, we got all finished up here. Heading out of customers. Like I said, pretty easy overall. Not really much to it. If you really just dive into it, kind of go through the steps one by one. Maybe a quick half hour, 40 minutes tops. You get everything taken off, put back together. When you hook it back up to your remote, it'll ask you to do an update real quick. So just quick connect to the Wi-Fi, push the update, make sure your drone battery is above 50%. It'll do the update. Click on your settings, you go to your spray settings, and then you can have your alternate or your 4 nozzle. All set. If you guys have any other questions, give us a shout, flyingacresag.com.